What is up, guys? It is LaughingTNT or Ryan, and today I'm going to be doing a different kind of video because instead of playing a game, I will actually be reviewing a piece of tech. And I did one of these videos about a year or two ago on a different Wi-Fi range extender that was about 20 bucks. It was the Hutu TripMate Nano. The video for that will be in the description, and I'm basically going to be comparing the two in this video. Because recently it actually just started dying. The internet connectivity would cut out. Sometimes it would just stop working completely and I'd have to unplug it and plug it back in. So I decided, time to get a new one, a better one, hopefully. We'll find out. And this one's a little bit more. The Hutu was $20 when I bought it. This one is $66.99 as of recording this. And this is the Netgear AC750, aka the EX6100. Okay, so the first thing we're going to take a look at is the box itself. If you turn it around to the side, and it has a switch to switch it from extender mode to router mode, like the Hutu had. And it has a couple buttons for a power on and off button, so you don't have to unplug it and plug it back in from your wall every time. It has a WPS button, so you don't have to type in a password if you don't want to. And it has a gigabit Ethernet port because it actually supports extending Wi-Fi through a Wi-Fi network and also through a gigabit Ethernet port. So that's a plus. That's something the Hutu couldn't do. But one thing the Hutu does have that this doesn't is a USB port for network file sharing from the router itself, but I never use that, so it doesn't really matter to me. On the back, you just have a diagram that says what the Wi-Fi extender does and how it extends your Wi-Fi, and it shows the key features. So first, it has the latest Wi-Fi standard. It supports Wi-Fi 802.11 modes B, G, and AC. It also supports 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi signals, receiving them and transmitting them again. Has the gigabit Ethernet port, like I said, and the two Wi-Fi modes, so it could either extend existing Wi-Fi or create its own. If you want to plug a modem into the device itself, it has antennas actually sticking out of it, so you'll get better coverage than the Hutu because that was just a little chip on the inside. And then finally, it has what they call Fastlane technology, and what that basically is a mode where it tries to limit interference by receiving the Wi-Fi on one channel and transmitting it on another. And I don't mean like channel 1 and channel 4 on 2.4 gigahertz. I mean, it'll receive, the way I'm setting it up is it's going to receive my home Wi-Fi on 5 gigahertz and it'll transmit to everything else on 2.4 because none of my devices use 5 gigahertz actually. So hopefully that will limit the interference this has. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna take this out of the box using my Niagara Falls pocket knife I got in Canada. And if you want to see some videos from Canada, I will have the playlist in the description also. And I will also have the product link in the description as well if you want to buy this. So, open the unboxing knife, and we're gonna cut this open. That's all it really is. Yeah, I don't think we have to do the second one, so I'm gonna open this now. There we go. And it is still upside down. Okay. Take it out. We got a quick start guide on top. Don't need that. Okay, and now we have the actual device itself. If I just take this out. Don't need this also. Okay. So as you can see, this is meant to go on a wall because it plugs right into the outlets, which is also a plus because you don't have to use a wire. So I'm gonna take this out of its packaging and see what we have. So obviously it's made out of plastic. You have the antennas right here, and then you have a couple of lights. You have one to show, I can't see. You have one light to show if it's connected to the router, and another light to show if a computer or more is connected to it. You have the power light, you have the WPS light for when you press the WPS button on the side right here to connect something. And these arrows are supposed to mean if you can get a better signal, if this arrow is blinking, you should move it towards your router. But if this one's blinking, move it towards the devices you're connecting. And that isn't going to be an option for me because I have to have this in a specific spot in my room. But I'm going to peel this off now because it has one of these to keep it looking nice. Okay. So now really all we have to do is put the antennas up. I'm going to show you my existing setup, and I will show you how this makes the setup smaller and better. So let's do that now. Okay, so please excuse the mess on my shelves right now, but the things I will be replacing with this new Netgear extender is this D-Link router, which has DDWRT firmware running on it instead of the stock D-Link firmware. So instead of putting out a Wi-Fi signal, it's taking in my Wi-Fi signal and routing it through an Ethernet cable into my PS4, because this thing actually has these antennas right here, and this only has a chip on the inside, so the Wi-Fi was not good at all, and that actually helped a good bit, but it would always cut out. But that isn't the focus of this video. This little guy is right here. This is the Hutu TripMate Nano TM-02 I reviewed about a year ago, and it has started to die, sadly, because sometimes the internet would cut out even though this green light would still be on saying it was connected to the internet. The streaming would stop, everything would stop working, and I'd get really frustrated, and you could tell that I get frustrated with it sometimes. But yeah, that's a dent. But anyway, we're going to be replacing this and the D-Link, hopefully with the Netgear, so it takes out 2 devices from my room and just adds 1, and it won't have any cable, and it should work really well. So let's set this up real quick and I'll show you how easy the setup is. Okie dokie, first things first, actually we have to set this up because since I'm putting this in extender mode, as you can see from the switch right there, you gotta actually connect it to your existing Wi-Fi network first. And according to the Netgear website, they say that this couldn't be simpler. So we're gonna test that right now and see how simple it really is. Okie dokie, so behind me I have a power strip with a lot of loose wires by it. We have to clean that up. But anyways, I figure this will be a good spot. They say to plug it in near your router the first time, just in case. This isn't where you're gonna put it, just put it by your router to set it up. I'm just following what they say on the website, so let's plug it in. Okie dokie, so the lights turn on. I'm gonna zoom in so you can see this. So the first thing that happens is the power light turns orange while it boots up. Okay, so the next thing that happened is the light on the right, which is used to indicate whether a computer is connected to the extender. It just turned orange, so we're gonna wait some more. Okay, now the power light turned green. Okay, now that orange light turned off, which means it's done with the boot process, so we can connect it to our router. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. I'm going to do the WPS method, but you could also just connect to the actual Wi-Fi network it's emitting right now and connect it manually. But this will be easier and I'll just adjust the settings later. So what they say to do is press the WPS button on the router, which happens to be the arrow that is pointing towards these vent holes right here. So we're gonna press and hold on that for a couple seconds, and then that will start blinking. Okay, and once you press that side button, you have about 2 minutes to go over to your actual router that has internet and find the WPS button, and you'll know you found the right button when it has this sort of a symbol. So we're gonna hold down this button also, and we're gonna see what happens. Okay, so now that we did that, the WPS button, or the WPS light, should be on our router. And if all goes according to plan, they should talk to each other, technically, and then the extender will connect to my Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to wait for that to do its thing, and then once it's connected, I'll show you how you know, and then you can move it to where you need it. Okie dokie, so once it did that, the red light for the router connection came on for a split second, and then it turned off. So now we're just going to wait for that to turn green. Okay, now since the light is green, we are connected to our router, and we can turn it off using the button on the side, unplug it, move it where we need it, and it will connect again without us having to do that whole thing again. So I am going to move it where I need it, and I will see you guys there. Okay, so now that I got rid of some of the clutter and I organized the power plugs, I will plug in the Netgear extender, and one thing I want to show real quick is if I can get this into view here. One thing to notice is that the extender's plugs are not polarized, so you could put this in any plug in any direction and it will still fit. And so again, we have to wait for the extender to boot up. So you know it's booting up when it has the red power light. The next thing that happens in the boot process is the computer connected light will turn red. The power light will be red for a little bit longer, and as you can see it turned green, and now the computer connected light turned off. And now all we're waiting for is the light that turned red. We're waiting for that to turn green, and when that turns green, we will be ready for our next step. So now that it turned green, we are ready for our next step, and I will continue this on the computer using a screen grab, so it's better quality. So sadly, the video I recorded on setting up the actual software in the router got corrupted, so I'm gonna have to end the video here. So remember to comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.